So it's been a while. I don't know how long it has been because I am not doing it months later or weeks later, whatever it is that this one is coming out. I'm doing them when I can get them done. So, however long it's taken, apologies. But after we have just finished the first 10 episodes before I took that break, we are getting back on trail now, and we are hopefully going to start getting into the meat of the season here now. We're on episode 11. Trust but verify. Couldn't think of what the name of the episode was. So, I know the last one was episode 10, which was Burned, and that one I thought was a great episode. I enjoyed that one. So let's hope that we can keep this going, keep the train going, and that the season keeps getting better. We did hit a few speed bumps with the first 10. Hopefully the next 10 will be a bit better than the first 10. Hopefully there won't be no speed bumps. We'll hit just a clear straight road. So this episode, actually, nope. Before we get into the episode, let's introduce some of the guest stars who are in this episode. So we've got Ben Browder playing Ted Gaynor, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned her at all, but Christine Lang, who plays Carly Diggle, I don't know if I've ever mentioned her before or given her guest spot, but she is more prominent in this episode than in other ones. I think the other episode she was in there for one scene, and that was it. This one she's in there a little bit more. And then we've also got Colin Lawrence as Paul Knox. So the summary of this episode is Diggle and Oliver are at odds when Oliver goes after Diggle's mentor and commanding officer from Afghanistan. And then Thea thinks Myra is also having an affair with Malcolm Merlin. So a bunch of stuff is going on in here. This episode ended up getting a 90%, which I feel it's good. This episode definitely was a good episode. It was very character focused, it seemed like. It seemed like Thea and Moira were getting their story going and growing. You got beats from them. You got Oliver and Diggle fighting between, it didn't feel as actiony, but when it's done right, it's done right here. So you didn't need the action to take away. This one actually felt like a pretty good episode. It even felt a little bit like a Diggle episode, which Diggle's trying to find out if his commanding officer is actually part of this whole thing or not. He wants to prove that he isn't, but obviously he is. So yeah, the grade I'm giving this one is going to be a B+. Now, why it's not an A at all or an A- is because of the few things that were in it that I didn't care too much about. Now, I'm just gonna go right into the cons because I know I just talked about how Thea and Moira had their relationship. I don't like, I know I put down their relationship, but the thing is, what I didn't like is how Thea just immediately jumped to a conclusion and didn't talk to her mom right away. She didn't I felt like they were getting to the point where they were opening up with each other, telling each other everything, and, well, almost everything, but, Thea seeing this, I thought she would go and talk to her mom about this and say, Mom, what is going on? Why are you hiding Malcolm Merlin from me? I saw him on your phone, I saw him at the office, at the party, what is going on here? And, I feel like because she didn't do that right away, it seemed like her mom was hiding something from her because her mom didn't want her to know. So that relationship part of it, I did not care for. I hate those simple little confusions that happen in shows where a simple just talking could figure something out. Now, I'm not saying, Mama Queen should tell her everything that's been going on and why Walter is stolen and, why he's kidnapped. But I feel like if they just had a chat, maybe it would be a little bit different instead of them having this stupid fight. So yeah, I didn't really care for that part of the relationship, but I just put relationship down so I would know in my mind what I was talking about. The twist villain, air quotes. You knew from a mile away that it was going to be his commanding officer. Like, you knew right away. Like, he basically was the villain, and that it being a shock that it was him didn't do nothing. Like, we all knew it was him. And then he's also very stupid, too. Because at the end there, where John's supposed to shoot a grenade launcher into this truck, and John, obviously isn't going to do it because Diggle's a good guy, and they're all mad at him, and they're like, well, now we got to kill your cute little girlfriend. And Diggle's like, well, there's only one thing. I'm the only one with the grenade launcher. Like, why would you give him the grenade launcher and go out there and talk shit? Like, seriously, what was the thought process? And then going up there and being like, well, John, I guess we're going to have to make you part of the crew because the arrow guy took out our dude. Like, okay, you're kind of dumb because you think John's even going to join you to begin with. And then threatening to kill Carly, that's also just, you're piling on the dumbness here. Like, you looked like you possibly could have been smart, and then you do the same formation that you did in Afghanistan, which immediately Oliver knew right away, hey, these guys do this formation similar as to what happened in Afghanistan. Like, yeah, it seems really weird. So, the villain in this episode was just kind of dumb, and yeah, I mean, just that whole ending part of it with them just seemed to... it was just dumb. Like, we knew he was the bad guy. I know John had to go through it and figure it out, which, obviously, I don't mind John going through it and, doing his diggling. Wow, that sounded really weird. But, yeah, the villain didn't seem good at all in this episode. I didn't think of him as a twist villain at all. And then some minor things that really didn't affect the episode, but I didn't notice them, and they just were bothered. That opening robbery. Like, okay, if it is a grenade launcher, don't you want to try and drive away? Like, take the chance to get away instead of backing up, noticing that there is a car there that is stopping you, and instead of trying to go through it or try to go around them in some way. Like, there's a lot of open space there. I'm sure you could get out of that. Instead, they decided to just sit there and let them shoot the smoke grenade into there. And yeah, they end up dying because they have to get out. And obviously getting out, they're getting shot by the two people waiting for them to come in. Like, you knew they were getting, other armor trucks were getting robbed. You should have thought of something or had some idea like, hey, if this happens to us, we're going to do this so we don't get stuck. But no, there was just nothing. And I know it was just that opening scene, but I thought it was really dumb. Like, there was a way you guys could have gotten out of it, regardless if it was a grenade launcher or not. I'm trying to take the chance to drive away, I'm not going to sit there and let them possibly steal the crap, steal the money from us and then die also in the process. It's not worth it. If I'm going to die trying to get out, So, and then also Oliver using Felicity. Like, by now, you just haven't just decided to take her into the group and make her your tech person. I mean, all the stories you're coming up with at this point, they all sound stupid and dumb. And, like, I'm surprised she hasn't caught on and been like, look, I know you're the hood now. I've kind of come to that realization that you are the arrow. But, this seems really stupid that you keep coming up with these dumb excuses. So I'm kind of just over that. Like, just let her be part of the group at this point, Like, what's an extra person? Like, this way you don't have to lie and come up with stupid excuses, or her doing something dumb like taking a file or whatever you're having her look up, to go to the cops before you without even telling you. So, I mean, that's a loose end that you don't want to have spread out there, just tie it up and just let it be part of the group at this point, just bring her into Team Arrow at this point. So yeah, those two were just minor ones. They didn't really affect it because it was just small things. The other two were more cons than these two. But the pros, obviously Diggle being torn, because Diggle doesn't want to believe that his commanding officer is this guy who is doing all of these stick-ups and all these robberies. Like, he doesn't want to believe it whatsoever. So I enjoy him going back and forth, wanting to prove that his guy is innocent, but then also, trusting Oliver, but at the same time not trusting Oliver. Like, he can't fully commit to be like, look, Oliver, you are right, but I don't want to believe that, you know? I don't want to do that. So I was really enjoying that very much. And like, I did like that it is a Diggle type story, basically. Like, I was really liking that. The flashbacks. I really liked the flashbacks in this episode. I'm not even sure why. You know, I know it was Oliver trying to break his Yao Fei out of prison and everything like that. And, you know, obviously at the end of it, it's like a twist that he's actually working for those guys. You know, he's part of them. You know, what we're supposed to lead into. But I don't know, like, something about the flashbacks, they really engaged me. Like, it was interesting to see the starting points of what Arrow was going to be, you know, him doing the secret stuff, you know, spying in there, doing undercoverage and stuff like this. Like, I really was enjoying that part, and the flashbacks really didn't take me out of this episode at all. You know, I know the flashbacks usually add on to the story of what we're going through with the main story here, but the flashbacks in this one I really enjoyed, and I don't know, I really like them in this one. This is like a minor pro, but I did like the small nod to a future villain with the Vertigo. I know Count Vertigo is in this. I don't know what episode he's in next. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm just going off of this episode. But I did like that small nod. Like, once I saw the Vertigo that the girls handed to Thea, I knew right away, like, okay, I know Count Vertigo's coming soon. Like, I like that small little nod there that, you know, he's coming and that's a villain. Like, I know they've been talking about it in a couple of other episodes about how it's been spread through the glades and stuff like that. So it was kind of nice to see, and I kind of like that small little nod. It's even got some similar colors to what I believe he is in the comics as well. So that was kind of cool to see that. And then the Merlins. I really liked the Merlins in this one. I liked how, you know, Malcolm is obviously his, you know, this evil, conniving guy, but he really does care about Tommy and that he does love him, and in his own weird way, he tries to protect him in some weird way. But I also like that Tommy doesn't want to give into it. Like, you know, he even says, like, I should learn to just stop, you know, trusting you at this point, because then I won't be getting disappointed as much as I have been. And I just like how their dynamic is. Like, it's just, you can feel the hatred at them. Like, you can feel Tommy being hated, you know, just hating his father so much. But at the same time, you can tell that he does love his dad in a weird way. Like, I know the feeling of how hating your parents, but yet you love them because they're your parents. And then obviously Malcolm loving Tommy, but he shows it in the weirdest way. Like, it's just, I liked their dynamic, and then I'm also liking Tommy more and more, so that's also making it a lot easier to deal with the Tommy scenes. Like, normally I would just not even give a crap about the Tommy scenes at all, or whatever is going on with them, but I'm really enjoying Tommy as a character. And then obviously Malcolm Merlin is a great villain, you know, I enjoy him. So, like, his intensity that he brings, I guess, you know, you feel the threats, but then at the same time, he doesn't want to bring the threat because he wants to protect his son. Like, he wants to do all of this to keep his son safe. So I really liked all of that. So that was really good. But I'm hoping the next episode will be just as good. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm recording the one episode, then I'm, you know, doing the review part of it right afterwards. So I don't know what the next episode is. I don't know what it brings. I haven't watched it yet. So I'm hoping that's good. I'm hoping we can keep this train going. This one was very close to being an A. Like, 100%, it was almost close to being there. There's those small things just kind of kept it down there. But hopefully the next episode can bring us into the A's territory, and, you know, we'll see what happens. But until I see you in the next one, hope you're doing well. Have a good one, and I will see you later.